Okay, everyone, just like I promised, it's time to review Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, Episode 1. And I, and I really must tell you guys, Scooby-Doo and Guess Who did paid homage to, to, to the new Scooby-Doo movies pretty much almost perfectly, in fact, probably perfectly, and did it at in my opinion, a truly good pace. Now, guys, first and foremost, I just have to say that in my opinion, it warmed my, it gave me the biggest smile on my face just now watching, Scooby, Shaggy, and the guest celebrity of the week, basketball star Chris Paul, basically try try and beat this swamp monster that's been scaring away all the participants at this golf tournament that Chris has been a part of. Yes, guys, Chris is is a basketball star, and for some weird reason they had him be in an episode that he's trying to save an art school where he teaches the kids bowling instead of basketball, and that and that's interesting, but what I'm saying is, since you got Chris, a basketball star, why not have the episode be based around basketball? But regardless, through a series of very funny chase scenes, Scooby, Shaggy, and Chris do manage to nail the swamp monster, who actually happens to be the caddy that we see within, like, literally the first few seconds of this episode. And guys, I gotta tell you, this new series is truly a perfect replication of not just the new Scooby-Doo movies, with having the aspect of a different celebrity guest join Scooby and the gang each and every single week, but just in terms of how the whole episode was done. I mean, there's even an Easter egg where when Scooby, Shaggy, Chris, Fred, Daphne, and Velma have to go underwater to find tanks of air in like the basement of the school, and when they decide to go underwater, that's a direct reference to when they found the caveman in the old Scooby-Doo Where Are You episode, and or it's also a direct reference to the legendary Captain Cutler episode. And guys, I have to say, this episode, and just the series tone overall, it really, in my opinion, finally, after all this time, I feel that this is going to show um, the um, the the younger audience that it's hopefully aimed towards what Scooby-Doo is really like. Now, guys, again, my second minor nitpick of this episode is that Velma and Daphne's design at times, it almost sort of still reminds me of their Be Cool Scooby-Doo-ish designs because at times their expressions look a little wonky, but fortunately, and as was the case with the original new Scooby-Doo movies, eh, Velma and Daphne, like, literally have almost nothing to do in this episode, which, in my opinion, is a good thing. And except for a few minor lines from Fred, this episode really centers around actually Shaggy and Chris all himself. And Chris calls Shaggy up to beat his caddy in this golf tournament because Shaggy reveals a long time ago when Shaggy, for some weird reason, took up golf himself, he was super hungry and got lost in the desert, and Chris ended up sharing his his second slice of a pizza that Chris had. So, just overall, guys, I rate this episode a solid 10 out of 10. Simply just because, yeah, Velma and Daphne's designs are a little wonky. Chris really doesn't reference basketball except for a few short seconds throughout the entirety of the episode, but still, guys, just in the overall way that the episode flowed, and they even managed to incorporate that classic sort of lightning opening into the theme song of Scooby-Doo Guess Who. So, people out there watching this review, if you yourself are, well, whatever age you are, because let's keep in mind, Scooby this year is actually celebrating his 50th anniversary. But whatever age range you are, if you are a fan of Scooby-Doo, and especially if you really did enjoy the new Scooby-Doo movie direction, and you have young kids, grandkids, nieces and nephews, or if you're like me and you're in your early 20s and Scooby-Doo with your thing, guys, this is really going to be like a trip back to your purest childhood memories, because this is almost put together nearly perfectly like a classic episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? So again, guys, I think that Scooby-Doo and Guess Who certainly does have a very bright future, and hopefully a very long future in terms of a season 2. Oh, and one last important thing that I must mention. I think that Joe Barbera and Will Annan, the creators of Hanna-Barbera, would have absolutely been give their thumbs up in the direction that Scooby-Doo and Guess Who seems to be taking. And guys, truly, this series has to be seen by anybody that likes Scooby-Doo, because you will not be disappointed. It's a great episode, guys. I can't wait for next week. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. Oh, and one more thing. I personally think that this was Frank Welker's finest hour as Scooby-Doo ever.